side is he getting at? Which side, right or left? Thank you.
LL Cool J is a true powerhouse in the entertainment world, with a 20-year career in the rap world, a remarkable actor, and successful entrepreneur. LL Cool J defines phenomenon.
What's up?
He's a legend. Am I not pronouncing it right? He's a legend. Got me? 3 words.
Here we go, Todd. Where we going?
Fine as hell. That's 3 words, right?
I think my man had vampire teeth, B.
Had little tight like custard, bro. Go this way. Yeah, I wanted to. Many years. No question. What's up, baby? How are you, baby? Good. How y'all? Good. They short new group, man. What's love, baby? All right. A young group right here, man. Yeah. Well, you know, you know what I mean? Right, baby. No question. Respect. Good luck today, man. All right.
It's like a Great Dane, you know. It's big and could be dangerous, and it's just not.
Before I go on stage, I like to warm up. You know, just feel better. You know? Yeah, I don't like to be dry going in. You know what I mean? So I guess I'll see you guys after the show. During the show. I'm gonna point at you. Peace. Yeah. Love you too, baby.
Let's go.
an incredible 20 years on stage and in the movies, now an entrepreneur and community leader, how did Todd Smith emerge from the streets of Queens to become LL Cool J?
Oh man, this community is connected to my music in so many different ways. I mean, like this corner right here, this store right here, where it says Lucky Ronald right there. I used to stand there all the time and write rhymes and beat on a garbage can. I mean, this block, this whole neighborhood, this whole area right here is basically where I used to hang out at, and you know, as a teenager trying to make my music, and was like kind of my headquarters for, you know, trying to create, you know, a career. Kind of like the equivalent of kids being in a garage band and being in a garage. That was kind of like where we kind of would congregate and everything. And then between that and my basement, you know, that's where I kind of got it going. This rock up here is, this Liberty Rock up here is like, this red, black, and green rock up here is like a symbol of the solidarity that's in the community. That's why they have this rock right here. Yeah, the first rhyme, I don't know if I wrote it or not, but the first rhyme that I remember is, you know, it was when you get off the wall and you bust your balls and you skibby-dibby-dop-dee-doo. I'm gonna rock you up, I'm gonna rock you down, I'm gonna do it just for you.
When Todd first started rapping, I thought it was the greatest thing because my idea was, oh, he's home, he's writing, all the things that he's interested in, the fellas come over. I always know where he is, so I just thought that was nice. And but he was really good at it. He heard the Furious Five, and he just fell in love with them. He was like, oh, ma, that's what I want to do.
Must have been around like 9 or 10 years old. And, you know, because I became a fan of rap at 9, and I started writing songs or rhymes at like 11, 10, 11, like 12 at that age. You know, by the time I was 14, I was trying to make a record. And when I was 16, you know, I got a record deal and I was out on my own. I moved out. You know what I mean? So.
The first time I met Todd, it was April 19th, 1987 on Easter Sunday at my Auntie Ann's house on Mangan Avenue in St. Albans, Queens, area where we both grew up at.
I Need a Beat was, I predict this jam will hit the highest plateau in the world of music. Paparazzi, wealth, and fame, the total propulsion of my name. And it had started off like an insurmountable beat, subject of discussion. You're motivated with the aid of percussion. There's no category for this story. It will rock in any territory. I syncopated and designed it well. The beat elevates, the scratch excels.
I heard Todd say, yeah, I meet your cousins. So then Jerry called us over there. And I remember my cousin Dina saying, who's that? And I said, oh, I think that's that dude, Cool J, that made that record, I Need a Beat.
And then it went on, you know, it was all kinds of rhymes. And I'm infiltrating your eardrums, increasing their rate of vibration. You know what I mean? Like, it was like a real kind of deep song.
He was like, yeah, I never seen you before. And I was like, you know, lying. But I was like, I never seen you before either, you know. But I used to see him on the bus coming home from school. He would always be out on Farmers with this big radio.
This guy right here, in this neighborhood, this was one of the few families. He actually retired and moved away and did well. So that's why you see the house for sale. It's not like it was an issue. Like, he really did well with his life. He retired and they went down south, and you know, and they're obviously selling the house. But this was one of the few guys in the neighborhood that actually was with his family. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a man, you know what I mean? Like, that was kind of one of the little iffy things around here.
Him and Simone were girlfriend and boyfriend. Like, she was just turned 17. He was maybe, I think, about 19. And you know, they went through their ups and downs. They'd fuss, get back together. They had Najee. Then they'd fuss, go through their ups and downs. Then they had Tally, and then they fuss, go through their ups and downs, and then they got married, and then they had some Aria. 2 weeks later, after they got married, and then they had Nina 5 years later. So they did everything pretty okay, they just did it backwards.
Mr. McDuffie, he was one of the guys around here who actually stuck with his family and, you know, raised his kids and was there for his kids, and he was definitely like a role model for me in terms of seeing a guy like take care of his family and know it was possible. So that's it's a good look. And he actually retired and moved down south, and I see his house is for sale, so I think that's great. He did it. He did his thing. You know, this is, you know, I had a lot of memories, a lot of different things I did around here. How you doing? All right, good. And, you know, just growing up around here was a trip. Man, I mean, I think one of the craziest things just, you know, that just flashed in my head, memory, was this house right here. I remember one time when we were little kids, this is like gonna sound a little morbid, but it was crazy. When we were kids, the guy who lived here, that bush wasn't there. In the window, the guy who owned the house actually was sitting in the window on the couch with his head like this, and turns out he had died. And he was there for like a week, just sitting there in his window like this, older man, sitting in the window, and everybody with the TV on, and people were like, yo, he been watching TV for like 3 days, 4 days. Everybody, the whole neighborhood was talking, and then people started going up to the window and tapping, and then finally they walked in there, and I ain't even gonna get into the rest, but anyway, that was the craziest thing I ever seen. Yeah, I had a lot of strange things happen. I did a lot. This house right here is a trip. There's a lot of wild memories with this house here. My man Frankie used to live here, Frankie Carr, and he was in a band and played music, and we used to play together and play music together, and you know, I used to be rapping while he played and everything, and he's one of the people that helped inspire me to want to make music in the house right there. And gentleman right here actually was a good friend of my grandfather's, another person from the West Indies. A lot of crazy West Indians around here. That was one of them. That's another one of them right there. And this is my grandmother's house right here. Yeah, come on in. It is what it is. It's where I grew up at. And I used to every single summer, I used to have picked weeds around these bushes all summer long as a little kid. The craziest, most nasty, uncomfortable thing in the world, but it does give you character. And when I say I picked weeds every summer, I mean for real. Like, I'm not talking about like I did it once. I'm talking about ants in your mouth, dirt, nasty, flying, itching, you know. I bought my mother a house. I'm still in the basement. I had so many cars parked in this driveway. It was a trip. I still got my first car I ever bought. It's old and thrashed. I'm gonna actually redo it. But this is the first car I ever bought, right here. This old Audi right here. It's the first joint I ever bought in my life. It's been sitting out here in the weather for probably I haven't used it. It probably hasn't ran in 15 years. I mean, it's been out here forever, but the first car I ever bought, I think I'm gonna restore it though, you know? Maybe we need to make that a part of this project, me restoring my old Audi. You see, I put determination on the gas tank. I was focused, just growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like right there. And I bought this when I was like 16, 17. I bought this, brand new. It was brand new when I bought it. And still got it. My old, look at it, it's all rusted. It's a trip. I used to get tickets for this tint too, because this is more than 30% tint, but I kept it anyway. I had the BBS rims on it. I don't have a key. Yeah. Yo, this is it. Crazy. I mean, my grandfather, like I said before, came over from Barbados. He was a Mason. He went to the Masonic Lodge. He wouldn't, I mean, he wouldn't tell me anything, but he went to the Masonic Lodge and he was a Mason, and we just had a certain lifestyle that was very focused, a lot of commitment. He was a quiet man, very strong, believed in hard work and dreaming big, and used to just tell me he used to tell me I was a genius all the time, growing up. That was his thing with me. You're a genius, you're a genius. And, my grandmother used to tell me, if a task is once begun, never leave it till it's done. Be thy labor great or small, do it well or not at all. My grandmother turned out to be the pillar of wisdom in the neighborhood. Oh yeah. This is an area where some of the tragic events in my life occurred.
Actually, what happened that night, when the shooting happened, I was coming from my work, and I was going into the door, and then the shooting happened.
My mother got shot, around there. My grandfather got shot at the side door around there.
It hit me, it hit my father, and then it so happened my son was up because he heard the commotion, and he woke up and he saw all the blood and everything all over the kitchen.
I was thinking on my feet. I mean, I was 4 years old, going in the linen closet, getting towels and bringing them to him because it was so much blood.
Todd, he has a lot of feelings about that.
Nobody thought my mother would walk again, but she did. They didn't think my grandfather would live, but he did.
I know Todd remembers, but, it's something that we never really talk about too much because I don't like to bring it up because it's upsetting.
I think it affected me then, you can never relax too much. Anything can happen, I think that's the thing that it kind of taught me. Anything can happen.
I think the first time I heard LL rap was in Crush Groove. Was it Crush Groove? Yeah, it was in Crush Groove, and he came in and did radio, I think. Can't Live Without My Radio, and he just came in there and just attacked the record, and he just had more energy than any rapper I ever saw before in my life, and he was young, he was handsome, he had a nice body, he was tall, and he was rhyming so hard and energetic, and it was just like life, a breath of fresh air.
I mean, I think he's the one we all got our ideas from.
I don't think LL was ever gangster.
Todd was simply happy to rap. And he was simply happy to be part of the hip-hop experience and have an opportunity to destroy any MC in his way.
I actually wrote my first rhyme to the instrumental of I Need a Beat, so that should tell you what kind of respect I had for his music back then.
LL hits in 1985, and it just showed people what he could do was add kind of a more pop structure to rap and made it accessible for a lot more people.
When I first met Todd, I was a fan, so I was like, I can't believe I'm standing next to LL Cool J.
He was the first rap artist to ever get played on MTV. He was the first rapper to tour with a live backup band. He was the first rapper to ever have a ballad.
Many rappers don't know how to leave it on stage. That's never been Todd's problem.
He turns into somebody else when he's on that stage.
When Todd leaves the stage, he will collapse. He's like a great sports athlete.
After maybe my, my third, one of those albums, I was getting a lot of backlash, and, I was celebrating my music and celebrating what I was doing, and, people weren't responding, and the critics weren't responding. I felt correctly to my music, so I kind of was a little discouraged.
When he first started out, he was looking at pop crossover at the time, and then some people called him a sellout when a couple of records came out. And it was right around the time of Public Enemy and NWA, and he was polar opposite of what they were doing with the political consciousness, the rage.
And I came back here, and this is where my grandmother told me, well, you got to knock them out. You got to, you just got to, get out there and knock them out and show them what you're worth. And this is like kind of where the concept for Mama Said Knock You Out, the inspiration for it, this is where it was created,
He did answer the critics with Mama Said Knock You Out, which was one of his hardest records that he'd done.
My first time becoming aware of LL Cool J, I think it was when I started listening to Mama's Gonna Knock You Out, listening to his music. And, he was just really hot.
I know that one album where he called himself the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and we were starting to debate that at the time. It was like, well, you have to give it to LL. Ain't nobody really else can really say that, and with the amount of work that he's done, and you put that against volume and how many songs it takes to even make an album, then you go, okay.
I still think people, because of the way he looks, his whole persona, it's more about the ladies love LL Cool J, more about his looks because he's not too hard on the eyes.
Finally to work with somebody who I admired, and the cocky kid from Queens. The ladies love him. I wish they loved me, but they only loved him.
The blessing is that even though my husband is LL Cool J, he's this big sex symbol, everybody's mother, grandmother, daughter, aunt, niece, everybody loves him, but the one thing that is a blessing about our relationship is that the ladies love him, but he loves me.
He was actually the format of one of my first jokes, which was his song "I Need Love," which everyone knows, and I would do the whole thing about that was the first time you had a real relationship, and you put that song in the background, and you don't have a lot to talk about. It's just that you just can't hang up, so you both on the phone like, you hang up. No, you hang up. And I Need Love has got to be playing in the background. You go, what you doing? Nothing. I saw you today. What was you doing about Miss Johnson's class? Oh, okay. You still there? You say something. As long as you got I Need Love playing, you like, listen to this.
I don't make my musical decisions based on perception in terms of like, yeah, I want it to sound good and I know what's going on and I want it to sound tasteful and flavorful and up to date and current and relevant and all of that. But in terms of subject matter, as an artist, you have to be sincere and honest. That's the only way to keep going.
You could say he is the 3M of love. He don't make love, he just makes love better.
One of the biggest impacts that he's had is that you can make great records and still be a great family man and still take care of your kids and still be responsible when it comes to making your music.
Back in 2004, I had to have a major surgery done on my leg, and Todd's album came out the day before my surgery, and he put everything on the back burner just to be at the hospital with me, just to get through the surgery. And I just want to tell him that I love him for that, and I want to tell the world that I love him so much for that, because it was hard for the whole family.
Family's a great opportunity to give love and take care of someone, and sow some good seed, gain some emotional equity in another human being.
I don't think anyone else is going to come behind L and duplicate his career. Like, 13 albums is, how tough it is? I'm on album 2. His new album is coming out. It's crazy. Like, I'm excited because I get a chance to musically influence someone that I've been watching and influenced by for a long time.
I have one album left on my Def Jam contract right now.
Because I'm executive producing the last album, I get a chance to kind of create the direction
I'm not looking to sign another 10-album deal, I'll tell you that much. But that being said, you know, hey, I'm having a good time. I'm very appreciative. My career thus far has been very blessed, and I just want to continue to do something well.
Well, I think that rap is a form of expression and hip-hop is a culture. And I think that as life evolves, so will the music and the lifestyle. And LL will be a part of that.
I remember having the meeting with the director, and I was asking him who was going to play the part of the detective, and he said, well, LL Cool J. And I thought, that's very interesting indeed.
I was a huge fan of LL Cool J. As you know, I was a younger guy and loved his music, loved his videos. So I always thought he was like a great performer. Besides, you know, a music maker, his videos really had sort of a movie-like story quality. So I always thought that he had real potential.
You can excel at more than one craft, not unlike Deion Sanders or Bo Jackson. You know, you can really get good at something. I think Will Smith has shown that, you know. He's excelled in both fields. It's very doable.
We came across this script called Out of Sync, and it was our first film. It was an independent, relatively low-budget film, and we wanted someone who could bring that hip-hop macho to it. It was LL. It was just a question of whether or not we could get him.
He always had this quality about him that's, you know, just so sensual, so manly, but also he's got this gentle, warm side and funny, just funny as hell. We laughed all the time. So we did Out of Sync together, and we had a really good time. And on that movie, I popped his cherry. I got him to take off his hat. I said, "You're an actor now. You're making love to this beautiful woman. Okay, maybe you might keep on your socks, but your hat, come on." And I remember the moment he took it off on camera, and it was so slow, and it was like he was a virgin or something. It was so cute.
He started with the hat, didn't want to take off the hat until it came, oh, I have to do something different, and he took off the hat. Yeah, it's all entertainment. I love making movies. I love making music. I love doing real good, very good television. I love doing high-level things.
Then we did a series together in the house, which was phenomenally successful. You know, Quincy Jones put us together. And actually this show worked really well because he was a single man, and his name was Marion, which was very confusing to my character Jackie, because I thought I was renting my place out. I thought I was, you know, going into subletting a house from a woman, and it turned out to be a man. And he maintained his image while doing In the House and expanded his audience 100-fold, you know, just in 1 year.
And it wasn't really until I think when I saw Halloween age 20 when I realized, like, wait a minute, that's LL Cool J in the movie. And, you know, he is really good. He can really act.
He was, you know, he was LL until that time when he showed up on the movie set and he had Todd on his, you know, on his trailer, you know, and I didn't know who Todd was, so, you know, I was doing a practical joke, you know, and then LL came out as Todd, and that was the wrong practical joke to do on one so muscular.
When we started casting Deep Blue Sea, the studio had a very particular idea about whom they wanted for the part of the chef. And this was a very small, skinny Caucasian actor, actually from Saturday Night Live. And I said, I see this a little differently. I see LL Cool J in this part. They were like, what?
It was just a lot of fun in the water, and as I was going on, the role just got bigger and bigger, and it started off small, but they kept increasing it.
When we showed the movie to an audience before it was released, the audience liked Todd's character so much that we had to change the ending of the movie and change it so that not only he lives, but he's kind of the real hero in the end of the story. And this was just because of his incredible charisma.
The movie was a hit, and that was probably for me, a shining moment. I really enjoyed it, loved it.
I think one of the cool things of working with somebody that is a rapper is the fact that they're a rapper, they're a hip-hop head. You know, ultimately, we may be actors, but up underneath this all, we all have this hip-hop bug in us that just will never die. We hip-hoppers for life.
Every person I bump into that runs Hollywood only has incredible experiences and things to say about Todd. I'm not surprised, because that's the same thing he showed during his whole career at Def Jam.
It was fun working with him. I mean, you know, he's a professional and he's really enthusiastic about what he does and open to suggestion at the same time, you know, and he has a big personality. So, you know, sometimes you gotta contain it.
When I go to the movies and I see him in the movies, it actually makes my chest big. I feel good inside. I'm happy about his success.
I always have to like something about my male co-stars, especially if it's a romantic themed movie for me. I have to have something that I connect to, and we had a bunch of things we could connect to.
You know, one of the things when Todd made the transition from rapper to actor, it wasn't the rapper actor. Todd really said, I am going to be an actor. And when I act, I cannot rap. And when I rap, I cannot act. I have to be, it's two different personalities for me to accomplish what I have to do. And he really focused on being an actor. He wanted people to respect him, just like he wanted to be the rapper's rapper, he wanted to be the actor's actor.
And he has taken his celebrityhood, his charisma, and marshaled that to look at what other opportunities he can get in. And I think that's why he's been so readily accepted in the film business, because filmmakers know he's a serious guy.
Woo! I know one thing, it's hot out in this joint. What's up, baby? You good? Yeah. Give me some love. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you. How you doing? Much love to you, baby. Much love. So here we are. This is Queens. This is where I grew up at. You know? Yeah. Let them know, 197.
You know, I see LL as as the people's champion. You know, everybody roots for this guy. You know, he's a loving father. He is an ambitious and hard worker, and more importantly, he cares about people, and he feels a responsibility to give back.
Yeah. And this is the barbershop of kings right here. That's right. You know what I mean? This is the spot. This is it. Q Burrow's thorough.
It definitely is.
Go on in. Yeah.
What I know about entertainers and musicians, they do one or two things. They make music, and that's all they do, and some of them are very good at that, and they grow into a major music force. There are others who make music and see that as a leverageable asset to get into other fields. Jay-Z comes to mind, Puffy comes to mind, and certainly LL Cool J.
Yeah, what up, baby?
It's kind of natural born right here. Oh, man.
What up, baby? Everything good?
All right, everything's gravy.
No doubt.
All right.
What it is.
Everything's gravy. Good.
We know that God blessed us with the talent that we have and blessed us to be successful, so we just want to help somebody else achieve their goals and dreams.
You know, I guess the best thing about coming, you know, for me, coming back home and coming to Queens and, you know, coming to the shop and what have you is just the fact that, you know, I get to just hear what's real and how real people are feeling and how my people in the hood are really feeling and what brothers are really going through, you know, as opposed to like, you know, Hollywood velvet lotion. You know what I mean? So it's good to come home and get to feel the raw and just be around some regular people and
That's right, come home, baby.
You know what I mean?
Sip a couple of quarter waters and stuff like that.
Yeah, sip some quarter waters. Yeah, we can do without the quarter waters, but it's good to come home.
We understand that here all these people respect us, want to be like us. So
we want to reach back and give back to them.
Every person that makes a little money, you know, that's the first thing they talk about, my foundation. But it's how you affect lives and how those lives are changed and shaped for the better that really matters. And that really doesn't have so much to do with what program you have, but the sincerity and the messages that you put out there.
Todd's contribution to Great Island AME Cathedral is tremendous. First of all, he is a worshiper. He's here every Sunday that he's in town. He volunteers, he works with the young people in this congregation. Whenever we need him as a speaker or whatever, he makes himself available. And I think that the spirit that he exemplifies is one that is clearly sincere.
I don't feel like, you know, saying I believe in God is going to be bad for my career. You know, I give God all the glory for everything that's happened in my life, and I'm all right with that.
That's just who he is, you know. There are people who have a deep sense of spirituality, and they kind of spread it on you, you know, and he doesn't do that at all. So that's not part, I mean, you just get that from his heart.
But now he's put all of that together to package himself as a brand. So LL Cool J is a brand. So women liked him, and middle-aged women liked him, young kids liked him, boys liked him because he was cool. You know, he had the physical appearance.
Yeah, he's worked on the muscles. He did do that, you know, and he actually learned from my videotape, my how to get in shape, the Cedric the Entertainer formula to body sculpting and just pure D sex symbolness. And you can see that he's one of my top students.
I decided to get in shape because I looked in the mirror and said, you know what? I'm not feeling like I look my best. I think I could look better. I think I can be more. I think I have a better image of myself than what I'm putting forth.
I've been trying to really get like LL. You know, my muscles just can't get that big. I've been trying to flex like LL, and I've been trying to get my stomach all like a washboard, but I just can't do it.
I've been doing it now. I've been eating right, getting in shape. I'm gonna battle you. I mean, you know, we're gonna be up there, you know, have an ab off or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up, Sid? Against LL, you know, it's gonna work.
Every other word, seemingly, when we were talking was, I want to grow, I want to do this, I want to do that. He doesn't think that he's anywhere, you know, even though he's got 20 years in the biz, he still thinks there's other levels for him to achieve.
God blessed me with a good mind, and he blessed me with good luck, you know, so, you know, but I mean, look, man can take metal and make a trophy out of it, or he could take metal and make a garbage can and throw waste in it. And you can't tell him he's wrong for making either decision. A lot of options, you know. The cunning hare has more than one burrow. All right. Thank you, baby. One love.